It's session number 2 of our 70-day journey to strong side splits, and that means we're up for 11 reps in each of our stretching exercises today. And I really want to encourage you, stay disciplined with this program, because if you can make about 30 minutes every second day for these 70 days, you will have strong side splits for awesome flexibility. Let's get straight into these squats, these 30 squats to start our warm-up. And squats are squats, really, there's nothing complicated about them, but still, you don't want to rush through them, especially if you're cold. If you don't warm up properly, if you go into the actual stretching exercises cold, then you're just going to waste the stretching exercises, as your body will treat them as a warm-up anyway. And that's only if you don't get injured from going in cold. So do your best with this warm-up. Focus on correct technique first, the way I demonstrated in the warm-up demo video. And don't push yourself too hard, okay? It's just a warm-up. If you continue working through these warm-up exercises at my pace, which isn't too hard or too light, then you're going to get your breathing and heart rate up anyway. And you're not going to injure yourself. And you're not going to fatigue yourself so much that you don't have the energy to train correct technique in the actual stretching exercises. Okay, great work with the squats. Now we've got 30 ham spines. We're still warming up the big muscle groups first, so with your feet about as wide as your shoulders or less, and legs straight and back straight, and lean forward as far as you can while staying comfortable. And really do keep your back straight so the stretching stress is on your hamstrings. Actually, here's another tip. If you keep your chin up, that'll also help you keep your back straight. And also, if you pull your shoulders back, if you pull your shoulder blades together, that should help you too. Also, remember that the target muscle that we're really trying to warm up here is our hamstrings, not so much our lower back. Not primarily your lower back. So because the target muscle is our hamstrings, you really need to initiate the lift with your hamstrings. Obviously, your spinal erectors have to engage. They will anyway. But at least in your mind, think about purposefully starting the lift with your hamstrings. And remember, this is just a warm-up. If you keep at it for the set time, your heart rate and breathing are just going to go up naturally, okay? You don't have to smash out 100 of these in a minute just to warm up. Just take it easy at first, and when you're comfortable, if you're comfortable, try to increase your range just a little bit. See if you can lean down a little bit lower while you keep your back straight. Next up, we're doing 30 elbows, knees for our adductor group, because now that we've started to warm up our bigger muscle groups like our quads and glutes and hamstrings, it's a bit safer and easier to move on to warming up our smaller muscle groups like our adductor group on the inside of our hips. Try your best to start with your feet out a lot wider than your hips. If you can see my feet on the mats there, they're around the edges of the mat, so that's about a meter apart. And that's because I find wider helps to put more stretching load on my adductors and less weight on my quads. If you struggle with this stretch because your quads are burning out, try to really get your feet out wide and then lean forward, like really tip forward so that you're leaning, so that you're really resting your elbows on your knees. Then your quads are going to do a lot less work. And now we have 15 side squats, 15 for each side, so that's a total of 30 reps. And like the previous warm-up exercise, it really helps to start with your feet really wide. From there, you want to kind of sit down over one heel with the other leg extended out straight. If it's difficult for you, then you can just do shallow squats. It's just a warm-up, so it's better that you just take it easy. Definitely don't push yourself too hard if the movement is really uncomfortable. Just take it easy and start shallow. If it helps to make it easier, you can also use your hands to support yourself throughout the movement. Either rest your hands on the floor at the bottom of the squat, or rest your hands on or above the leverage point, which is around your hips. That just means that your legs don't have to work so hard. Now, on the other hand, if you want to make this harder, then you just have to do the opposite. Put your feet apart further, squat down deeper, lean forward further, because leaning forward is going to help open up your adductors more. And on top of that, keep your hands up. So make sure your hands and arms aren't helping to reduce the weight load or stretch load. And either way, whether you want to make this warm up easier or harder, try your best to increase your range of motion, even if it's just a little bit, and only if you feel safe and comfortable. Okay, you should be starting to really warm up now, so it should be safer to move into our dynamic warm-up stretches. And first up, we have 20 leg raises for each leg. And like I explained in the last session, I really encourage you to focus on trying to lift the leg rather than swinging it around. And the difference between a lift and a swing is that if you're really leading with your head or upper body first, or your arms, and then you use that momentum to swing your legs, well, yeah, that's a swing. And you're going to lose the benefit of having your antagonist, the hip flexors, you'll lose the benefit of having them do the work and getting stronger at your maximum range of motion. So yeah, try not to initiate the leg raise by throwing any part of your body first. It might look like you are anyway, but at least be aware of the correct technique. Try to be thinking about the correct technique. The other thing you really need to focus on is keeping a straight back. Of course, if you start bending your back in the leg raise, if you start to lean forward, of course you'll be able to get your leg up higher, but you're also going to reduce the specific warm-up and the stretch on your hamstrings. And that just means you'll be wasting the effectiveness of this exercise. And you won't be as warmed up and ready for the strong side splits exercises. So yeah, try to keep your back straight and you'll be able to keep the stretch on your hamstrings and the stress away from your back. Now we've done the front, let's move into side leg raises. And again, we have 20 for each leg. And with these, pretty much everything I said before about front leg raises also applies to these side leg raises. So I mean, in regards to not swinging your leg and also in regards to helping your balance. So to make sure you're not swinging your leg, do your best not to start the movement with any other part of your upper body and then following that movement with a swing of your leg. We really want to lift our leg. We want to raise our leg specifically with our hip abductors, at least as much as you can at the start of a new program like this. And then if it helps to make things easier, you can hold onto a chair or wall or anything that helps you with your balance. It won't change the stretch in any way, except it might help you focus even better on the stretch and the correct technique. The only thing you won't be training is your balance. And that's fine because balance work, I mean, improved balance isn't the goal of this program. I might have to make a 10,000 method balance program sometime later, but yeah, this is a strong flexibility program. So it's fine to make things easier if it doesn't compromise our training goal. Okay, great work making it through the warm-up exercises. We're all ready now to begin the actual stretching exercises. But just remember to start light and ease yourself into this, okay? It's just your second session now, so take care as you work through all of this. And with that, let's get into position for the full side splits. And we have 11 reps of these today and 1 minute to complete the set. Now, like I said in the last session, it's not full 180-degree side splits. It's just the full technique as opposed to a modified technique. And remember the stretch contract technique for this. Okay, lower yourself down into your maximum range of motion and then contract your target muscle there in the stretch. Okay, stretch and then contract, stretch, then contract. Now, I really don't know, and you probably don't know either, how well you've recovered from the last training session. So really do your best to take it easy as you work down into your current maximum range of motion, okay? And now we have a much easier stretch, our standing adductor stretch. And we have 11 reps to complete for each leg and 1 minute to get them all done. Remember to ease into position and then stretch your target muscles out, your adductors, and then contract your target muscles there in the stretch. Now, I've been talking a lot about taking it easy at the start of the program here, but I don't want to sound like I'm neglecting you if you have been doing a lot of preparation or any other kind of flexibility training. If you've done about a solid month of stretching or other flexibility training, then by all means, you're probably ready to seriously push yourself and work hard in this session right now. I still encourage you though, still do your set of 11 reps. Just go as far as you can with each repetition. I mean, stretch out a bit further and contract a little more intensely. Let's start to move into our next exercise, the standing hamstring stretch. The target muscle group is our hamstrings, and we've got 11 reps of these for both legs and 1 minute to complete the whole set. Start with your feet a bit closer together, then step forward into the stretch position, keeping that extended leg straight. Also, keep your back straight too as you lean forward over your extended leg. And really do your best with your posture here, because if you bend your back, you're going to be telling me that you don't feel a stretch with this exercise. And then I'm going to remind you that you need to keep your back straight as you lean forward. And to help with that, try keeping your chin up and looking up and pulling your shoulders back. Okay, that's just a stretch technique. For the contract technique, you need to contract your hamstrings in the stretch. So when you're there and you feel a stretch, try pulling your heel down through the floor. If you want to work that contraction through a broader range of motion, then you can lift your torso as you contract. The only thing if you do that though, is you're going to lift yourself out of the stretch. So it's up to you. Side squats now, and these are for our adductors. We have 11 reps in this set and 1 minute 20 to get them all done. Now as you work through these, do your best to find a position that really engages your adductors. Leaning forward like over your front as you squat down should help achieve that, because that loads the stretching stress more onto your adductors than your hamstrings. But still, you need to find the position that best works for you. And just like the warm-up, you can make this easier or harder depending on how you feel. And because this is just the first week of the program, I'm always going to encourage you to make things a bit easier. This exercise, the side squats, are one of the only exercises that we'll use through almost the entire program, start to finish. So you're going to have lots and lots of time to ramp up the intensity with these. So if you do choose to make this a bit easier for now, like I'm advising, then you won't be missing out later in the routine when we triple the rep load. Anyway, I should say, if you want to make this easier, use your hands to help support your body at the bottom of the squat. And if you want to make it harder, then make sure you don't use your hands at all. When you've completed 11 reps for both legs, let's move into position for the next exercise, which is seated adductor stretch, because we've only got 30 seconds for them. Okay, now for the last exercise for this cycle, the seated adductor stretch, with our target muscles being our adductors on the inside of our hips. We've only got 11 reps of these and 30 seconds for the set, so let's get them done. Now, if you find the stretch way too easy, like you can rest your knees on the floor, next time try sitting up extra tall with a straight back, or you can try lying all the way back and stretch your knees out wide from there. See if that helps. Let's start our second cycle of exercises with full side splits, and make sure you're positioned safely. Ease yourself into a comfortable maximum range of motion, into a good stretch, and then count your contractions while holding the stretch. Okay, that's 1 and 2, 3, remember the technique, 4, 5, 6, contracting the stretch, 7, 8, 9, 10, one more, and 11. Okay, you did great. Now, we still have time, so when you're ready, ease out of your maximum range of motion and move into position for the next exercise, which is the standing adductor stretch. Okay, standing adductor stretch, and we got 1 minute 30 to do 11 on each leg. Moving into position, and when you're comfortable, let's go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, keep your back straight, 5, 6, 7, 8, keep your back tall, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, let's change it over and finish the other leg. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, keep the stretch, 5, 6, contract the stretch, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost done, and 11. Great work. Let's move into position for standing hamstrings. Remember, great technique, and let's go 1, 2, 3, keep your toes pointing up, 4, 5, 6, keep your back straight, 7, 8, 9, shoulders back, 10, and 11. Excellent. Change legs and let's keep going. And 1, 2, and 3. Lean at the hips. 4, 5, 6. Chin up. 7, 8, 9. Look up. 10, and 11. Well done with that. Let's move into side squats. Let's do these side squats. Ease down into position and let's go 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. Engage the adductors. 4 and 4, 5 and 5, 6 and 6. You're doing great. Keep it up. 7 and 7, 8 and 8. Stretch and contract. 9 and 9. Keep your toes up. 10 and 10. One more to go. 11 and 11. Okay, great work with your side squats. It looks like we have some time left, so you can stretch a bit more or relax a moment, or even just sit down into your seated adductor stretch. Okay, I'm going a bit overboard with my side squats there, but let's start our seated adductor stretch anyway. And you can lie back if you really need more of a stretch, and let's go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, stretch and contract, 5, 6, take it easy, 7, 8, 9, 10, last one, and 11. Great work, you just finished the second cycle. We've got one more cycle to go, starting with the full side splits again, so let's get into position for that. We've only got 11 reps in 1 minute, so there's no need to rush. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, contract the stretch, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, one more to go, and 11. Great, well done. Take care as you move out of this position, ease out, and then you can take a short rest or start to get yourself in position for the next standing adductor stretch. Okay, standing hamstrings. Move into position and ease into the stretch. And when you're in the stretch, start to contract the target muscles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, one more, and 11. Let's change that over and start to work the other side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Great work. Let's get into the next exercise, which is standing hamstrings. Okay, we've got 11 reps and a full minute to get them all done. Okay, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, last one, and 11. Let's change over and finish the other leg. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're doing great, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost there, 10, and last one, 11. Excellent work completing them. Let's use our spare time to move into the next exercise, which is side squats. Let's finish our last set of side squats, and I'm going to encourage you to take it easy. That's 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. Still make sure you got great technique. 4 and 4, 5 and 5, 6 and 6. We're past halfway. 7 and 7. Make sure you're still stretching and contracting. 8, 8, 9, 9, almost there. 10 and 10. Last one coming up. 11 and 11. Excellent work. Really well done. Let's start to move into our final exercise, which is our seated adductor stretch. Okay, take a seat, make yourself comfortable, lie back if it helps, and let's count these off. Okay, that's 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Excellent work with that. Really, really well done. You've just completed session number 2, and I hope you're feeling great. Today's tip is a reminder to make sure you record your maximum range of motion, either on a phone or a camera, so you have an objective record of it, so you have a benchmark that you can measure all of your progress against. Because if you can't measure it objectively, it's going to be really hard for you to improve it objectively. And I know I said the same thing in the last session, but that's because I'm trying to emphasize that it's a really important part of this program. Okay, so now that you're all warmed up, if you didn't get a picture or video of your current max ROM last time, do your best to go and do that now. And do leave a comment, let me know how you went with today's session, or if you have any questions. And if you want to work on more than strong side splits, make sure you subscribe to this channel and check out the other progressive training videos that we've got here. And then when you come back in 2 days' time for the next new video in the series, we'll add another rep to each exercise and continue training for strong side splits. And well, I'm looking forward to having you back then.